Okay.
Crockett Pottery. Kathy, is that you? Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. This is the most FaceTime I've had in forever. You're muted.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Now I'm backlit.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Our friend Lee's on here.
Oops. Don't want that. Okay, yes, I'm gonna try.
Hi.
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 Hi, Sheila.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Oh man, it is too bad there's not someone more tech savvy running this.
Well, I think by the end of this, we all will be tech savvy.
What do you need help with, Jenny?
All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to present my slideshow. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to present it in like full screen format without also losing you guys. So you will see it in the same format as is on my desktop. How's that? What do you
Looks
think?
good.
Looks okay.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It is.
Hey,
Hi.
Hannah. What's going on?
Who are we talking to?
You're welcome. I'm talking to everybody at once.
Hi, Jenny.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Jennifer Rose.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see your face. Face to the name. I'm gonna move my location. Okay. Jenny?
Yes.
Okay. Should I be seeing your face in the center or just on the side? Or does it matter?
You don't have to see my face. So
Okay.
I'm trying to present a slideshow to you guys.
Ah,
so
I see. Okay.
You should have like the first slide should say Mudhouse Residency over some beautiful water.
I see.
So I'm gonna give us like another minute.
Is there a way to?
Is there a way to see everybody's picture at the same time?
That's a good question.
Hi, my name's Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
Silvermore. Hi, guys.
Hi, I'm Jen.
Hi.
So if you click on people, I don't think you can see all the screens at the same time. But on the right side, it says people or chat. If you click on people, you can see who's on right now.
Yeah, okay. I'll mute again. I just wanted to see if I could see your faces. Okay.
Jenny, do you want to keep us all muted while you speak?
Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind muting yourselves, unless you want to talk to me.
Okay.
That would be awesome. You can also, in the chat, you can send a text. It'll send a message to everyone. So if you send a message, I will also see it. See, can you see the screen? Do you want to also see, Glenn? Yeah, get 6 feet away, would you? Hopefully. Okay. Oh, you guys are amazing. I love seeing the highs from everyone. Yeah, Kathy, I agree with you on that one. Okay, I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. It's really quiet on my end. Thank you for muting your microphones. If you have any questions or you want to chime in, feel free to unmute and join in the conversation. Who's
Hey,
unmuted?
Jenny, can you hear me?
Hi, who am I talking to?
Linda.
Hey,
Linda
Linda.
Berkowitz. Hi.
Thanks for joining. Linda, do you mind muting your microphone unless you want to talk?
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you so much. All right, so you guys all have the first slide. Thank you for tuning in today to our virtual salon. I wish we could be doing it in person, but it's awesome to have everyone from around the world joining us. I'll be giving a presentation of the Mudhouse Residency in Crete. And while I'm talking about the island and the facilities and the program, I'll also be introducing the artists that we've had join us over the last 6 years and showing some images of their work that they've submitted for the salon. So I'll wrap up the presentation with a Q&A. So feel free to ask me questions by turning on your microphone or by typing the question into the text box. And then after the Q&A, I'll ask alumni who have volunteered to share their experiences if they would like to contribute an anecdote. Finally, I'll end by playing video clips that the artists have submitted. So we have some really beautiful videos, so I'll end with those. And please stay for as much of the meeting as you can. I'll try my best to keep it under an hour. And I want to let you guys know I'm also recording this meeting, and I'll make it available on the Mudhouse website. So, all right, to start, we're planning on holding 3 sessions this summer. With the current situation, we will hold as many sessions as we can. And I'll speak more about the application process and the current situation a little bit later. But the plan is for a session in June, a session in June, July, and a session in July, August, with each session being about 2 weeks long. All right. So these are the blue-green waters of the Libyan Sea. And for those of you that have been to Crete and have been to the Mudhouse, you can testify that it really is this color. And it's also the perfect temperature. So there are no sharks in these waters. The snorkeling is fantastic. I experienced scuba diving for the first time last year off this coast, and I can't wait to do it again this summer. So Crete is the southernmost of the Greek islands. Up to about 100 years ago, it was an independent country, and the people of Crete have so retained this very fierce sense of independence. The mountain village of Iosionis is on the southeastern side of the island. So you can see our little red marker. It's closest to the coastal city of Erapatra. And the major city that you would fly into or take the ferry into is Heraklion. You see it, it's on the northern side of the island. So it's about a 2-hour bus ride or car ride from Heraklion to Erapatra. So we are pretty isolated. This is an image driving along the coast. It's a sunset over the mountain range. And then this is our little mountain village of Iosionis. It's completely hidden by the mountain from the coastline. So it's only when you're about halfway up the mountain that you can see the village from the road. The village is about 9 kilometers from the coast. It's up a twisting mountain road. It takes about 20 minutes to make the drive, and it takes about 2 hours to walk it. There's a couple artists on right now who have done the walk. And then the western road, so we have a road to the west and a road to the east. The western road passes through goat grazing lands and olive tree orchards over the Thripti mountain range. And then there's amazing hiking to both the east and the west. The eastern road leads to the village of Skinakopsala, and it crosses the Chiro hamlet with a natural spring that winds its way to the sea and the only pine tree forest on Crete. So I'll give you a little background on the landscape. And then this is a slide of our magical little village. And you can see the residents are sort of nestled in among the ruins that are centuries old. This means that among the ruins you find all different interpretations of houses. You have Italian villas and you have English gardens, and the roads that go through the village are not accessible by car. So it makes strolling and sketching amidst the village very peaceful. The village is about 500 meters above sea level, so you have an impressive view you can see on the horizon of the Libyan Sea. This picture was taken from the Mudhouse Terrace. And then this is one of the Mudhouse Gardens, and it's shaded by grapevines. And the artists gather here in the morning for breakfast and also occasionally in the afternoon evenings for wine. This is another one of the Mudhouse Gardens. And you can see it gets great light. We have two of our photographers from 2018 working on their laptops there. Another of the Mudhouse Gardens. And another of the Mudhouse Gardens. So you can see many of the accommodations have a number of these gardens and outdoor seating areas built in among the ruins. The view is really good, so it makes a lot of sense. So this is from one of the accommodations that we rent for our artists. And we have two artists from 2018 on a terrace. We have Melissa Murez, a photographer, and Rodrigo Tafur, a painter. These photos were actually taken by another artist that was doing the residency, Hillary Olson. And this is from one of the accommodations. It's the house that's right next to the bar. And then these are some photos that Kate Stone, a photographer that joined us last year, took. These are images from the accommodations we arranged for the artists in the village. So I'll show a couple of slides of those. Another terrace. A little work area, seating area. A pretty spectacular tub. Oh, fingers. And this is Francois' house, or the music house. So this is the house that has the grand piano inside it. And then this is the Mudhouse. So this is the sitting room. And this is the kitchen table, the breakfast table. And this is an image that's near and dear to a lot of us who have done the residency. This is actually a piece done by Leah McKellop from 2019 called Varvaras. This is a screen print and natural dyes of Tian hibiscus on silk based on drawings from the residency. So you can kind of see this beautiful drawing of our Mudhouse sitting area and kitchen. And then these are the artists at breakfast. And we also have lunch and dinner are served family style at the Cafe Neo, which is the only taverna in the village. It's a family owned. It's owned by Christina, and she inherited it from her mother, who inherited it from her mother. Christina is amazing. She's a miracle worker. She's made all sorts of things, accommodated all sorts of dietary restrictions. She made pizza once for Rodrigo because he felt like pizza. So she's pretty incredible. And then this is Bar 55. You can see a group of artists. Bar 55 is open in the evenings for music and cocktails, and it has a spectacular view of the mountainside. And then this is from the June Sheep Shearing Festival. So our mountain village is not the highest village. There's actually up the mountain further even more traditional village where they do sheep shearing every year. And depending on, when you do the residency, you may be able to witness it. It's pretty incredible. They bring hundreds of sheep through. They shear the sheep with scissors. There's a big feast that goes on all day during it. But you hear a lot of the sheep and the goats from the village. You can hear them traversing the mountainside. So it's definitely part of the soundscape of the residency. This is our Limerick-based artist, Sarah Jo Dowling. She's on with us right now. And I'm going to show some images of her work just because it gives a really good sense of the history of the village. So Sarah, when she submitted this work, wrote that the former residents of Ayasawanis left for a better life on the coast, abandoning the 600-year-old mountain village with what they could carry, with much left behind. These rooms remained untouched, documented in recent years by residency participants, but otherwise subject to rot, decay, and environmental change. For me, these bedrooms are a beautiful, static reminder of untold and alluring intimacies, producing a surreal experience of inexplanatory connection with its former inhabitants. They open a window into homes of private encounters, wrapped up in a very specific identity, sentimentalities, and personal histories that we are left to only imagine. During my Mudhouse residency, I was on a personal exploration with intimacy to reconnect with the world around me. My Mudhouse experience and the work made since this journey have led to the creation of many collaborative curatorial projects and a resolve to my journey to reconnect with myself and the world. So, it's a beautiful statement from Sarah, and I included 4 more of her images. It really is true that you walk around this village and there's a lot of houses that were abandoned when they brought fresh water to the coast and people moved to these coastal towns for work and for life. They kind of left everything behind. A lot of the artists find inspiration in exploring these ruins. I'm going to show, this is Kristen McNevin's photo from 2018, June, and it's called Untitled Book of Shadows. It's really interesting for me to see, especially what the photographers take away with them. The residency has attracted a number of photographers, and Caroline Minshew brought this setup with her. She's on with us right now. She could probably explain it better. And this is her submission to our salon, which is a silver gelatin print from an 8 by 10 inch negative. It's 16 by 20 inches. So Carolyn brought that setup. We've had Miranda Clark, a photographer, bring a chandelier with her, deconstructed in her suitcase and reconstructed in Crete. And she photographed it on the coast. And then this is just from the coastline, an image of one of the Roman fish tanks. You can still see, like, everywhere you look, there are these footprints of ancient civilizations. And so we've had photographers, we've had dancers and choreographers. We use the exhibition space where we do our final exhibition. It's also a practice room for dancers and choreographers during the residency. To see choreographer Kara Robertson, and she collaborated with musician Cheryl B. Engelhart during their residency last July. And this is Cheryl at the grand piano in the music house. And the music Cheryl recorded and produced at the Mudhouse is now released publicly as a record called Luminary. The music was designed for focus, mindfulness, and growth. We've also had sisters Katrine and Astrid Elbow. They're La Mia Bella Sorella. They collaborated on a performance piece in June of 2018, which they performed for the residency and the people of the village. This is composer and pianist Rosie Rebel. She collaborated with printmaker and performer Courtney Nicole Gouge to set music to Courtney's video piece during their July 2018 residency. So a lot of our artists end up collaborating with each other on projects. Rosie was also working on a reinterpretation of Sophocles' Antigone during her time in Crete. And it's pretty amazing when we have a musician because we can hear the piano throughout the village. So even the artists who are working in the studio, which is not all that close to the music house, we can kind of hear piano music wafting through the village. It's a pretty wonderful soundtrack to your painting. This is a reduction relief print completed at the residency in 2018. There's also a video piece that goes with it by Courtney Gouge, with music by Rosie Rebel. And this is Courtney, excuse me. She returned in 2019 to lead workshops in reduction relief printmaking and workshop in simple stop motion animation. Here she's working with painter Hannah Rose. Here she's leading a workshop in the reduction printmaking. Last year, we also started offering a ceramics workshop because we have 2 ceramicists from Arapatra who live and work in the village, and they maintain this ceramic studio. And so the workshop includes instruction and clay and glazing and firing as part of the workshop. They also have a small potter's wheel, so it's kind of everything right there. And then the year before, we had a workshop in Mokuhanga, which is the Japanese woodcut relief. It was led by Lane Sell of Shoestring Press. This is a print by artist Linda Berkowitz. It's actually 2 of her prints on top of each other of our resident goat. And this is artist Caitlin Foster from 2017 working on her incredibly detailed pattern sketches, which she also translated into woodcut. And then this is Caitlin's submission to the Salon. It's a colored pencil on paper. This is artist Peggy Kromelis working outdoors. This is Peggy's artwork inspired by her Greek sketches. You guys, if I'm going too fast, let me know. This is painter Anders Johnson. In the studio, his paintings were inspired by photos he took of the ruins. When he finished the residency, he had a show of these paintings, and also I wanted to show Anders' submission for the Salon. This is Lamentation. It's an acrylic on panel, 9 by 12 inches. And then this is artist Lynette Stevenson. She's with us today as well. She's a professor of painting at Colgate University. She joined us in 2016. And she made these incredible painting collages from found objects around the village. This is her submission to the Salon. It's called 3 Rumors. It's a work from the series Object Narrative that she began at the Mudhouse in 2016. Much like works created at the residency from discarded materials found on walks around the village of Iosawanas, this work is made up of found objects from upstate New York. The work itself is a commentary on the absurdity and beauty of the absurd. Lynette and I, when we shared a studio, we listened to a lot of books on tape. It was very good. This is Davy Barnwell and Lane Souther hanging Davy's paintings in the ruins, which really looked fantastic. And then Davy submitted this painting. It's called What Stays. It's an oil painting on wood for the Salon. The Salon will take place. It's just been postponed, but wanted you guys to get a sense of the work that was submitted. This is artist Shannon Mack in the studio this summer. This summer, the artists came up with their own critique schedule, and they held a series of critiques in the studios. So we have Shannon presenting her work. We have Hannah Rose DeMarco presenting her paintings. This is Hannah Rose's painting, Birthday Boy. It's an oil on panel. Hannah is an MFA candidate this year. She should be graduating soon. And then this is Catherine Kearns, who's also with us today. During her critique, she submitted these 2 pieces of painted pottery, which are absolutely beautiful. And then this is an image of our studio. So our studio is kind of this large, almost open air format. It has windows on all 4 sides, and we have tables, easels. The artists kind of take up as much or as little space as they need. And then we have artists who also prefer to work outdoors or work in the gardens. So the kind of the whole village is open to creating the workspace that you desire. This is artist Katie Berry. Katie submitted this painting for the Salon. It's entitled Eminently Suited for Beach House Decorating. It's high-load acrylic, pumice, and molding paste on canvas. I think one of the best parts of Katie's application when she applied for the residency were the titles for her paintings, which were really fun. She did painting while she was at the residency, but she decided to do a performance piece for the final salon in which she sat on a rooftop and sunned herself as the sun went down. This is Ron Livingston and myself in the studios looking at his print. Ron submitted this painting for the Salon. He wrote about it, "I'm attempting to develop a visual language that does not readily accommodate intelligibility, so that the agency, indeed the event of the painting is laid bare. A painting that shows nothing except itself prioritizes the experience of viewing. Such a painting refuses to work properly. It prefers not to be interpreted or appraised. It declines to organize itself around our desires. Such a painting, merely and irreducibly a thing, confronts the viewer with nothing more nor less than vibrant matter." Katie Berry and Ron were in different residency sessions, but I really wish they had been in the same. I think they would have had a lot to talk about their painting practice. It's interesting to get this continuity through the years of the artists that apply. This is the first time we've tried to bring all of the artists together, and I'd like to do it more in the future. We're starting to, after 6 years, we're starting to get a really interesting, dynamic, diverse group of artists that have done the residency. This is Nicole. Nicole is in the conversation with us right now. Nicole made these incredible objects that are part of a video I'll show later. It's called Reflective Synopsis. This artwork is a process of an expedition through a discontinuous path, and at the same time, so continuous as the heart rate, as an accurate programming. Inside this cave to be traveled, or that has already been, there are 4 sound stages: the hole, the excavation, the coldness, and the crystal, with the challenge of letting the ears be teased before the eyes. A synthesized, mechanized, and scanned lines of sound was built so that, from auditory perception, existing images were reorganized as a question to retinas in the dark. What is the sound of the brain? What is the sound of the stone? What is the sound inside the screen? What is the sound of the doubt? I return to my favorite place, but the path has changed a lot. The mystery is nothing you can see or think about. The mystery I came looking for, I didn't see and I won't find. The origin is contained in the microscopic proportion. In the macro are all the origins. If I try to see too much, I just see. So I will show her video shortly. I wanted to present her work. And this is Hannah Rose in the studio. You can see her work. I also wanted to mention that we do figure drawing and sessions from life, so that we also, while the artists are here, we organize a figure model to pose and do sessions with the figure model. for artists that are interested. This is Nick Middlestead in 2017. Nick is a printmaker, multimedia artist, installation artist. He's with us today. This is the piece he submitted for the Salon. It's a neon piece. So we get a variety of mediums of artists that are working on a specific project or just working in general. I'll show you a picture of our group. This is our 2018 group on the June hike. So we have also several outings planned during the residency. We do a hike over the mountainside. So this is our group embarking on the hike. We follow the path to the west, and we cross the point where you can see both the north and the south coastlines of Crete. It's a really beautiful hike. I'll also play Maddie Boucher's video, her sound video piece in which she recorded from the hike. This is on the other side. It's the sunset over the north. This is Courtney's picture, and this is from our trip to Mudhouse. So we do a hike over the mountains, and then we also do a group trip to the coast. We go to the east coast where the small island of Mudhouse is. There's an active archaeology dig on Mudhouse, so students from the University of Texas are excavating the site. This is one of our photographers on the coast. Some of our artists enjoying the beach. So it's like a part beach, part research trip. So we go and we enjoy the coastline. Excuse me. And then we also make the swim. It's about a 1/4 mile swim, or we take a boat to the little island of Mudhouse. On Mudhouse, we arranged to have a tour by the students, and they explain the site to us and what the dig is. There's our artists on Mudhouse enjoying the sunset. And then we stay and we have dinner in Mudhouse. So it's an afternoon trip. Additionally, we also give artist presentations each night. So artists can sign up to give a presentation of their work. It's a great way for the other residence artists to get a sense of their colleagues' background and what they're interested in, the projects they're working on. So we do like a small slideshow presentation of works. We have a couple artists go each evening after dinner. Artists also get together, sometimes organizing events of their own. So we had an impromptu reading of Medea. This is Davy Barnwell, Hannah Parker, and Michelle Fletcher from last year's residency session, passing the book around. This is Sarah D. Stewart. She was a poet in 2018 session, July session. We did a gathering of readings, so we had Sarah read. We also had an excerpt from a playwright. We had an excerpt from a fiction writer. And so it was an evening of readings. And Sarah submitted one of her poems for the Salon. She writes, "We are all lost souls congregating in this magical place, filled with ruin and misfits, all connected, yet we walk different paths to find our way here." This is Lamia Bellacerella performing for the group and the village in the 2018 residency. And then this is to give you an idea of our exhibition space. So at the end of each residency session, we mount an exhibition of artworks made during the residency. It's voluntary. You don't have to submit. Most artists do because it's a working exhibition, so it's a chance to, you know, kind of see the project you've been developing in the 2 weeks. And we've had installation, we've had sound pieces, video pieces, photography, sculpture, painting, sketches. It's run the gamut. So that first shot was the install. So this is just the artist, the day of the install, and then this is the opening. Just to give you a sense, it's really well attended. The village and the neighboring towns are really interested in the artists and what we're doing, and so it's always pretty packed. So our two of our artists from last year. This is Rachel, her photography. This is the exhibition from last year. Included this one because you can see Michelle Fletcher, she's performing during the opening. So she did a performance piece while the opening was happening. This is an install shot. I just wanted to give a sense of, because both these artists are in this conversation now and have submitted to the Salon, Davy Barnwell and Catherine Kearns, how the work can be very different, but always different pieces seem to speak to each other. It always comes together really nicely. This is just, I'll kind of play this while I'm talking about it. This is Monica Toledo Silva's Tracing Mermaids, from her continuing work since 2016 of reaching women refugee artists and creating images with them. Back in Greece, this piece was about her searching for them in different landscapes and islands besides Athens, imagining their traces and feeling their presence in a timeless reality. So I wanted to give a sense of this really beautiful video piece that was sort of installed among all the other works in the show. This is a shot from the opening. This is an image from Kate Stoughton, and I just wanted to mention Kate Stoughton has been, she's done photography for the Mudhouse. She did it last year and a little bit the year before as well. She submitted a video piece, which I'll play later. This is a still from it, called All That's Left, an arrangement in 4 dimensions, a stop motion animation that travels through a psychological space. I just wanted to mention that Kate Stone and Nicole were actually roommates. We had put them in a house together. They were sharing a house. Sometimes it just works out really nicely that you put 2 like-minded artists together. Their work really spoke to each other. And this is showed one image of our group. This is our group from July of 2018. We take a group shot each year after the exhibition. You can find all of our groups on the website if you want to look into any more of their artworks. I've also included their websites. And then this is our group on the beach. And so we try to each year also go to the beach once at night. The bioluminescence is really amazing. So you're swimming in these in this dark water, and you just have like the stars above you, and then you can see as you kick like all the bioluminescence glowing in the water. So it's a pretty incredible experience. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm losing my voice. And then this is my last slide, and this is just our beach at night. All right, so that's my slideshow. I'm going to stop presenting my slideshow. And then, good, so I didn't take too long on my slide. So I'd like to open it up right now to questions. So if anyone has any questions. Hey, there you are. Thank you. Oh, I will just mention, I did say I was going to speak about this later, and Varvara is on Crete right now, and she was not able to join us because she doesn't have a good connection. She wanted me to mention that we are keeping the deadline open for at least until May 15th. So we understand, for people that are waiting to apply, that want to see what's going to happen, we will keep our deadline open. Excuse me. We have also created a very flexible refund policy. So if you put your deposit down, if you've put your deposit and your full residency fee down, we're doing a 100% refund policy if we have to cancel, if you have to cancel due to the situation. Also, we will roll the fee over to next year. If for any reason the Mudhouse increases in price next year, your cost will stay the same and you won't have to apply again. So if you applied, even if you applied and you were accepted and you haven't submitted your residency fee yet, but you want to hold off until next year, you can roll over your acceptance to next year. So we don't want anyone to feel afraid to apply or afraid to put down a deposit, not knowing what's going to happen. So I just wanted to mention that it's also on our website, but that we've made our refund policy very flexible, and we've extended our deadline as well. All right, and now I'll stop talking and I'll open it up to questions. Yes, Jennifer, I am going to put out an email. We have a page for funding on our website, but it's more like the usual funding that was funding before all of this happened. And now that there are a lot of relief funding and grants for artists, that can be updated. Now we'll put out an email about that to our mailing list, and I'll also put it on our website as well. So there are new opportunities for funding. Thank you, guys. Oh, thanks. Sorry, I lost my voice a bit. Some more talking than I've done in the last week. Do any of our alumni that have joined us want to say anything about their experience? Well, these are some good questions. Is it possible to switch from the middle session to the last session in case it seems that the world will maybe be more sane? It is, yes. You can switch among sessions for sure. Kathy, I will definitely, I'll email you about that, but it's totally possible to switch your session. What do you find are the challenges and the perks to running a residency so remote in the mountains? Well, the challenges can be getting there, especially for everyone who's coming from the States or far away. It can be a little bit of a challenge to get there. But once you're there, I mean, the perks are that it is isolated, and it kind of feels like a world away from a world. It's really easy to kind of be able to remove yourself from everyday life and really focus on your project or what you're working on, and take advantage of that sense of isolation and that sense of like this supportive, creative community.
I can add to that. This is Maddie.
Hi.
Hi. I think the other thing worth mentioning is that for artists who work with like have a lot of equipment constraints or material constraints, like they want to work with really big, heavy materials, things that might be hard to transport across the ocean in a suitcase. Like you're going to be limited in that front, but the cool thing is also watching artists get really creative about how to use the materials and equipment around them when they are in the village. I know like my husband's also done the residency, and he created these kind of sculpture paintings that he placed in the ruins and photographed, and instead of taking them back because he couldn't take them back to the States, left them in the ruins and had his artifact be the photos. So he like actually kind of broke out of his usual tendencies because of the constraints.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we also have, yeah, Hannah, go ahead and talk.
Hi, everyone. So from my experience, I brought like 30 oil paint tubes with me and thin panels, so cradleless panels, and that way they could sit in the bottom of my suitcase, which ended up making my suitcase very heavy. And I think when I do return, I would try to limit the size of those things. But you can get like a TSA chemical paint sticker for all of your paints and everything, and it will just like point out that you just make sure that they're called like oil paint, or they're not called oil paints or anything, because that's a TSA flag. You want everything to say like artist colors made with vegetable dyes and minerals. That way it's not flagged, and you can put like a scanner. It's something you print out from the computer. It's a yellow tag, and they can see it in the scanner, so that like they don't flag you and you're not stopped, because I know that most people probably have a layover and stuff. And then limiting the like amount of supplies you bring, so like hard materials are easier than like liquid paints and stuff like that.
That's true. And if you guys, if there's anything specific that you need that we can bring from Athens, we can try to arrange that as well. So if you have any like specific supply questions, send me an email and I can work it out with you. Jamie made a good point. She's a photographer. She said she was glad to have rented a car last year to be able to explore nearby villages on her own. Yeah, like once you're in the village, we are pretty isolated. So although we do take excursions, if you want to be able to be doing excursions every day, you can look into renting a car for yourself.
I can definitely speak to the advantage of the isolation. Hi. If that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not catching
absolutely.
up on the chat.
This is
For
Cheryl.
me, so hi. Hi, everybody. So I'm a musician, and when I showed up, I thought I had this whole project planned, and then I saw the room that was the piano in this gorgeous space, and the sound was just amazing. That I was like, okay, we're doing a piano record. I was going to do a choral thing with just singers, and it was dumb. So I ended up just sort of figuring out my own routine and I did bring a microphone. And so I was like, all right, we're going to record some things. And then having to work through the sounds of the cicadas, which were so loud that my microphone picked up the cicadas. I had to figure out what time of day that was better. And I ended up just getting into a routine. I actually didn't go on a lot of the excursions because I knew I had these 14 days. And once I started, I knew I wasn't going to be able to recreate that sound somewhere else. So I wanted to get everything done. And it turned into being a kind of cool new project for me. I normally do pop mainstream stuff. And this was like an ambient piano humming new age album, and I released it last month, and it was #1 on iTunes and Amazon and new age for like weeks on the top of the charts. And it was kind of amazing to have this very, very concise, like the internet went down one day and everyone's like, oh no. And I was like, oh no, how am I going to get fired? And I'm just like, this is such good focus and with such support. And I've never been in such a place where I didn't have to deal with all of the things. I feel like, yes, it's such a different way of being, but it really worked for me, and so far it's been really amazing. So I just want to say thank you. And I've been anytime I've been posting, I try to tag Mudhouse with like, here's another success of this record that came out of this 2-week
Amazing.
residency.
That's awesome, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool, you guys. Anders says, I thought one of the most amazing aspects to the residency were the villagers and how open they were to the artists taking over for 2 weeks. What is my, could you speak about that relationship between the villagers and the residents? Yes, I can. Unless you want to. So the villagers are really, really interested in the residency and in what the artists are doing and why they're here. And we have like Haris, who gives Greek lessons that, Kathy and I have both taken, who also participated in Courtney's printmaking workshop and has collaborated with the poets. He's a poet in his own right. He's always around and interesting. The people that own the houses make it a point to come back for the exhibition. They want to be able to see it. We have Antonis, our resident shepherd, who is here and there and everywhere. And yeah, I have to say, like, if you are interested in getting to know the people that live in the village, becoming interested in their lives, they are very receptive to getting to know you as well. And they are very friendly and very interested in what we're doing and have been wonderfully supportive. So we're looking forward to coming back, every year. And
I could talk about that too if you want me to.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Anders.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good.
Looking back, one of my biggest regrets was every time I was invited into one of the villagers' houses, I was like, oh, I'm right in the middle of this painting right now. I wish I could. And my suggestion would just be to take advantage of that part of the residency too, because they're very open to letting into their houses, having tea with you, having a drink with you. And they are some of the most interesting people. That's the thing I still remember after 2 years is Antonius. I mean, he's a legend, and just these people that like, how did they get to this place, and how do they make it here? And it's almost feels like a kind of a sense of magic in the town from the villagers too. So when you do go, make sure not to just work the entire time and get to know the villagers too, because it's such a huge part of this residency.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely agree. And if anyone's interested in learning Greek, Haris is happy to give Greek lessons. He loves to practice with you.
If I could just echo that as well.
Yeah, hey.
So I had the opposite experience. I spent the vast majority of my time in 2017 with the village residents, as Jenny will remember, and ended up making a vast majority of my work around them as well. I'll definitely say to take advantage of that, because it's a very unique relationship experience to build up and incredibly important. I think it's also important to remember that as much as the village is accommodating the residency, the residents are also accommodating the artists that are on residency. And it's important to remember that it's a large part of the village is their space. And I think respect on that really, it makes you learn an awful lot more about kind of the social history of the place itself. I spent so much of my time having tea and wine and more on balconies and going for hikes with Harris in particular, who was able to give me a very particular insight to what the village means, not just historically, but now. So yeah, I definitely recommend taking up any opportunity to spend time with those that were there before you came to the village itself, because it really enhances your experience.
I agree. Thank you. Very well said. Yes, wine on balconies. You guys are awesome. Did I miss any of your comments? I'm trying to see. Ah, good. We have a link to Cheryl's album. Cool. So I'm gonna feel free to keep asking me questions in the text box. I'm going to play some videos. You guys stick around for as much as you'd like. I'm gonna start with Maddie's video. Da, da, da. If I can figure this out, I can. Okay. So I'm sharing her web page. Come on. All right.
Good, I'm glad you're. Yeah, it's in the village as well, you know. Some people aren't into it. I know.
for you guys. I'm going to show Nicole's video next. All right, and then you guys I'll show one more. This is Kate Stone. It's very short, but I'll end with this since I've gone past my 4 o'clock. How do I do this? All right, you guys, thank you so much. I hope to see you all again soon. We will be having like an actual show of the work you sent to the salon. I have all your work in the hopefully near future, and I will figure out how to live stream that for those of you outside of New York. And for those of you joining us this summer, I will absolutely be in touch. And yeah, look forward to meeting you or seeing you again soon. Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Sarah. It's good to see you. Dark hair, man. I didn't expect
I know, very different, eh?
it. Very different.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.